That man is so woefully incompetent, not just as a president, just in terms of his like business affairs and everything. That if I wrote this down and
Mhm.
sent it back to like 1993, Harvey Weinstein would give me a movie deal. That's
Right.
how bad he
Yeah,
is. He's
no,
like, this is brilliant.
yeah. Reality is stranger than fiction now. Like, world
That's
is
how
so fucked
fucking
up. The occurrences in the past, the whole Trump presidency, but especially the last year, have been like, if you wrote that in a script, they would tell you it was too ridiculous. It was too unrealistic.
Yeah.
no. Harvey Weinstein would give me a fucking movie after
Let's see.
that. I mean,
So it
granted,
says President Donald Trump's order of further withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan and Iraq is the latest foreign policy move on the growing list in his final weeks of office that are meant to limit President-elect Joe Biden's options before he takes office in January. And do you think that was the motivation behind him even doing that small withdrawal? Because, I mean, it's a real small... I mean, it's not even that major a
I think that's
shift.
different. I mean, we talked about that last night.
Yeah.
I think the troops is
I
slightly
will
different,
say about
a little bit more complicated,
Mhm.
but it's in the same agenda.
I will say to you, like I said to Steve Cox, you know who I'm talking about on Twitter. Either yeah, I'll say to you, is like, hopefully the Afghanistan war ends the same way the Vietnam War ended. It's just mad Marines flying out into the Persian Gulf, hanging off a helicopter while dancing "Machine" by the Jackson 5. No, that's literally how the war ended.
Awful.
That's literally
That's
how
not what's going to happen, though.
No, that's literally how the Vietnam War ended by the account I
No,
heard
but
from a veteran of the war. He said, that's literally how I left that fucking war. As I
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
hopped on a
already
helicopter
different,
with all
though.
the other Marines and somebody played Dancing Machine by the Jackson 5.
That's
And my black ass was hanging off the side.
so.
Because we all
Yeah, but
wanted
it's
to
already
leave.
different, though.
So I mean,
Like, we were
yeah,
leaving
It won't
Vietnam, we
be.
were being chased out,
yeah.
Like, this is where the country is just dominated, and they're not doing anything there. Like, their only reason they're there is to protect
Exactly.
the American business interests,
Yeah.
Yeah, besides, if America were to leave Afghanistan right now, I could guarantee you one good thing would come from that, aside from all the obvious things that we get, less dead soldiers and whatnot. But I can tell you this much: they leave Afghanistan, no government around there, the price of the brick is going to go the fuck down.
Well, okay, so
Mark my words.
Well, this was a number of the
opium
withdrawals.
production has gone up and up and up since we took over. Like, the opium, like, it was mostly in China before the Afghanistan war, right? In the 21st century, since 9/11, and we have invaded Afghanistan, they've taken the lead in terms of opium production. It used to be China. Now it's them
That
by a
we
long
know
shot.
China
We
probably
encouraged
has like
it.
Yeah, but China probably is not worried, because China's probably like, man, fuck all this. We got like a whole ass greenhouse in
We
Tibet. Fuck
encourage
y'all.
it. Like, we know how to find it and destroy it. Like, we can do it. We have surveillance on every square inch of the country. Like, we could definitely go in there and get rid of the opium if we wanted to. We're not, because they're in cahoots with the fucking international drug traffickers too, right?
I agree, but this is where I'm gonna go a little bit nerdy in terms of what I thought of when you said the whole we watch every square inch. You know what my mind immediately went to?
Butt stuff.
No, not this time. Do you ever see the movie GoldenEye?
Yeah.
Remember in GoldenEye when they first?
It's been a while.
Remember they go on GoldenEye. Remember they go on Cuba for the first time, and Jack the CIA agent, the fat guy, shows up in the plane. He says, "Huh, you're looking for a giant satellite? Doesn't exist. You can't light a cigar on here on Havana without us seeing it." And then they go way into the jungle after Zania tries to kill them, and they find out, oh, they buried it underwater. I was like, you know what? Classic. This is classic James Bond bullshit.
So
I'm confident they're not
on the troop withdrawal, though. I mean, they're gonna leave 2,500 in Afghanistan, 2,500 in Iraq. So they're really just withdrawing 500 troops from Iraq and then 2,000 from Afghanistan, and leaving 2,500 in each of those countries.
Yeah,
it's mostly about the
you know when
optics.
Yeah, but when they say that we're going to withdraw troops, the bullshit they're going to pull. They say, yeah, we're withdrawing troops, but when they say they're withdrawing troops, they're not going to withdraw anyone from the front lines. It's going to be like mad Marines and
There
Army
are
there.
no front lines, man. It's just like company towns. The troops are just there to protect the American businessmen who are there, to protect the contractors and the other people who are setting up like fucking Applebee's and Old Navy and shit.
Oh God, Applebee's, that's awful.
So
I give him credit for this though.
look
Like
at this one though.
people were saying he doesn't deserve any credit for this, but I think he does because he's had pretty much every single person in Washington, aside from like a handful, has shat on him for this, right? Every single person has tried to convince him not to do it, and he's sticking by it. So, I mean, I give him props for that, right?
So
Tammy Duckworth was against it.
Yeah,
Tammy Duckworth was against it.
We talked about it last night, so I don't want to go into it too much, but.
Okay.
Well, on this front though, this was a United Arab Emirates. The Trump administration authorized $23 billion in advanced weapon sales to them.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're gonna sell them bullshit, aren't they? They're not gonna sell them anything good.
Yeah, and here we go. There was the Israeli settlements. Mike Pompeo.
Like you can tell how well Americans were.
Here, read that settlements section.
All right, let me pull this up here. Here we go. Yeah,
Biden's not going to reverse any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing too. He's gonna create all these fires, I guess, that are gonna be there internationally, and then he's not gonna do anything with
He's trying to make it hard for him to get back in the Iran deal too.
Yeah, so that's settlements in occupied territory regarded as illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this characterization as the West Bank. Pompeo laid the groundwork for this planned visit last year when he scrapped a 1978 State Department legal opinion that declared the settlements inconsistent with international law. Damn.
They definitely are. They know they are too.
There you go. More than 1,600 new settlement homes in East Jerusalem, which he strongly condemned. Biden condemned. Damn.
You know what this all is going to end up being? You know what this all is going to end up happening with him trying to pull this bullshit on the way out? He's going to try and pull this out, but he's going to forget one big thing, that Biden's team around him, including his VP, is way more competent than Trump. So they're just going to, within a week or in a very relatively short amount of time, just sweep this whole thing under the rug. And he's going to be like...
I think they know what they're doing. Come on, finish that section. I want to see what else they say.
Okay. The president-elect is unlikely to change other norm-shattering steps by the Trump administration, including moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. They're just going to leave them, she said. You're not going to undo everything. This is what you just said. That's funny.
Yep, exactly what I said. This Yemen thing, he might undo the Yemen. Like, he might get us out of the Yemen war. That might happen.
Maybe.
Doubtful. Fucking doubtful.
And then
what did it say, though?
And then, where?
What's it say?
Where?
What's it say about Yemen?
It says
Pompeo has been pushing to designate Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels as terrorists despite pushback from State Department and UN officials. He may soon be successful, 2 State Department officials tell CNN, and if so, the move could handicap Biden's ability to develop his own policy in Yemen, because rolling back a terrorist designation is not easy, the officials said. Pompeo has received intense resistance from his own diplomats, who have discussed the matter with UN officials on the ground in Yemen. Both groups are anxious that a designation could upend the UN's work on peace talks in the country. There are also fears that such a designation could impact humanitarian aid deliveries. State Department officials said Pompeo sees the designation as part of the maximum pressure campaign against Iran and doesn't care if it puts Biden team in a challenging position. This is just how this cast of characters works, said one State Department officials. Pompeo will do everything he can to make it hard for the incoming team. They're going to designate Yemen as terrorists? Because that's...
here's the thing. He's going to designate the Houthis. But here's the problem with this whole thing of trying to designate them as rebels. Does he not realize the last time we took a major, group of rebels in the Middle East and we decided to turn our backs on them? You know what happened the last time we did that shit?
What happened?
The Turkish army came in and started slaughtering them en masse.
No. I'm talking more recently. I'm talking like...
Yeah, last year.
No. I'm talking further back. 9/11 happened is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
That's
okay.
literally how we got Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was our allies we backed during the Afghan-Soviet war because apparently the Americans were like, well, if they take over Afghanistan, they're just going to use the resources and come after everyone else. Never mind the fact that all of our fucking allies had already had like several plans set up in case some shit like that happened. And the Russians know that if they went past a certain point, like, it's like they'll use it against everyone else. Bitch, you realize if they even make it close to Scandinavia, they'll die. Like the Scandinavians aren't afraid of those motherfuckers. They remember the Winter War, motherfucker.
They like our State Department, the people who run our foreign policy. It's like literally the worst people in the world. Like you couldn't like if you put characters like that in a movie, it would be like unbelievable. Just the kind of stuff that they've done over the past, since the Cold War and the period thereafter. Just every single country we've gone and just destroyed it. Like every single time we've been involved. It's like, I don't know. Can you think of any instance where U.S. troop deployment ended up improving the situation in the country? Because I can't. Like Russia in the 90s, like we just turned that country. Like it wasn't doing great under communism, but like they made it the free market neoliberal hellhole. Like Chile, all over South America, all over the Middle East, all over Eastern Europe. I'm not following too closely what's going on in Africa, but I'm sure they're fucking shit up there. Indonesia destroyed it. Like every single time they get involved.
I just want to point this out really quick. You mentioned South America. I just want to point this out. Define irony. The fact that Brazil, a country who is one of our active allies but doesn't get enough credit for helping us defeat the Nazis during World War II, is now being run by a Nazi.
God damn.
Well, I'm not kidding. The Brazilians were one of our big allies. Well, too. It was just a bunch. Like people were like, no, they weren't. They sent troops after one of their tankers got blown up by a German U-boat. They literally got their shit blown up and went to the Pentagon with like a list of like how much does it cost to buy all these things because they had like a bunch of oil money. So they're like, how much does it cost to buy all this shit? And they're like, this, and this. All right, cool. We're helping you with the war now. Really? Yes.
So, it was just. I think I agree with this comment. I mean, I don't know.
Chat really fast.
I don't know.
See, they just read it so people on YouTube.
I think that's probable. It's the same people. I mean, not to get all black-pilled, but do you think whoever is advising Trump to do these things is actually in lockstep with the Biden campaign, and then America is back on track to its predictable, shadowy bullshit, and will just use Trump as a scapegoat for these crazy decisions? I think so. I think the people who run the foreign policy, the State Department, the deep state, people like that, they don't like they do what Capitol wants them to do, and the presidents respond to them, right? Like the president actually doesn't have like the way the economy is set up now, the way the markets are set up, like the president is not actually capable of changing things significantly, right? Like if Capitol wants to go there, they're going to go there, right? Like they're going to make us go there,
right? I mean,
like
that's
kind of like how we,
and that plays right into what you said, Matt. Though that they're going to go through and do all these, crazy, horrible decisions and not walk any of them back, or maybe walk one or two back. So
exactly what they did with Obama and Bush. Right. Obama normalized Bush's shit.
I don't think they have nearly as much of a problem as they're trying to make it seem, but they're setting it up to be something crazy that Trump's trying to do to burn down the house on the way out. So
absolutely. And another thing, the thing that's really sad, if you really think about the whole foreign policy as it exists now, is if you consider how things are in this day and age, they don't even have anyone competent running the foreign policy anymore. Like, say what you will about George Herbert Walker Bush pretty much running the, entire like Iran Contra and other shit out of the White House as vice president, because Ronald Reagan was a senile old bat, and I was actually breakdancing in 2004 when he died, but I digress.
Well, that's like, I think this is all coordinated. right? I think that's why I'm saying I don't know how much power America has specifically, right, or the American president has specifically, because then Macron does this thing today, the same thing about the
Yes.
Muslims, right? And it's like, was this coordinated? Was this intentional? Are they
Oh no,
purposely
this
in
is
lockstep?
how the French
Like,
operate.
I mean, this is
No, this is how the
it's
French are. Like
basically,
they.
I mean, it's basically, I mean, this is an extreme version of neoliberal, like neoliberalism took a step forward today, you know, like between what they did trying to normalize the stuff in the West Bank.
Let's go
It's
to
true.
and
It's true.
making Muslims like a second class citizen
well. Let's
in
go to
Europe.